at StrikePoint, when people get hired, I say, thank you so much for choosing StrikePoint. And I tell them that our relationship is based off of a value exchange. I'm giving you value by providing you income. You're providing your service in lieu of my income that I'm providing for you. At any point in our relationship, if we feel that the value exchange is off, you are not making as much money as you think the value that you're giving our company. I'm giving you too much money for the value that I have it. I want us to have a conversation to talk about our value exchange between one another. And there are 3 outcomes that can happen from it. You figure out that you hate marketing, this isn't for you, whatever, and you off on your ways. Second is that StrikePoint becomes a catapult for you in whatever you do in your career. Go off. If this is a catapult, go become like the president or something. I want to be able to brag about how awesome you were and that you got your start here at StrikePoint Media. And the third is that we can continue to have a value exchange over the life of your career. Yeah. And you can buy a house and you can get married and you can do whatever you want. You can go travel, you can write books, you can, I don't know, whatever it is that you're passionate about doing, we're growing together. And that's it. And we go into the relationship with the third option as our end result, our goal between it. But it comes down to this value exchange. And I do this on purpose because I want to give them the words. A lot of people they've never had a parent tell them this. They don't have a mentor telling them this. Sure. And when they feel something, they have the fight or flight response that gets inside of them. So they become combative, destructive. You see destructive behavior happening, which is really hard sometimes to catch, can cause millions of dollars in overall output damage for your business because you're bringing down the morale of your team. Or the flight, they pieced out before you could ever reconcile with them, and they were a really, really high valuable asset to your business. So I try to avoid all that by simply giving them the words to come back to me and say, hey, Jeremy, I don't feel like the value exchange is working for me. And can we talk about it? And telling them it's okay to talk about it. These are just communication. This is one piece of a healthy relationship, is being able to provide a place where you can talk about anything and not feel like you're going to get yelled at, screamed at, shamed for, or whatever. My business partner, Brian, has taught me this, and by his behavior, not like he's gone out of his way. He's literally one of the most even-keeled people. My joke is that you'll see a 1% happy Brian and a 1% sad. Like, they're the same person. Yeah. I've even gotten the guy drunk and I'm trying to get something out of him, and he's the same way. He just laughs and smiles. Like, he's like, I'm like, dude, I can't get any rise out of you. Our joke when I first met, when we landed our very first client, I go, what are you going to do? Please tell me that if we land this big, contract and they say yes to everything, that you're going to do something. Oh yeah, I'm going to do something really, really wild. Like, I'm like, great, like, let's do it. And that gives me motivation. We get out of the building in Chicago and I'm like, all right, man, where is it? He goes, woohoo. I'm like, that's it? Woohoo. Like, a high five? Like, nothing? Like, you're not going to rip off your shirt? You're not going to, like, go and, like, take a couple shots or something? Like, no. And so in our relationship, and we've been business partners for 7 years. We've gone into debt together. We've had some successes together. We've a little Freudian correction. Thank you. And we've
that was one of the best Freudian slips. We've had some sex together.
That did come out. Please don't edit that out. That was funny.
That's golden.
So we've had, we've done a lot of really cool things together, and we've been in the trenches with one another. And I've gotten asked to go become the CMO of companies. I've been asked to do side projects. I've wanted to quit. Yeah. I've wanted to leave. I've wanted to do something else. All sorts of things have come up, and every single time I've ever brought anything up to Brian, there has been never, ever a emotional like displaced anger put on me or shame put on me and whatever. And he has created a space where I could tell him, Brian, I think you are the dumbest guy in the world, or I think that you are the worst president that any company could ever have. And he'd be like, okay, well, why do you feel that way, Jeremy? Let's talk about that. And he gives it space. Now, could he feel hurt by that? Has he shown me emotion? 100%. But he'll say things like, okay, let's talk about that. And then we'll talk about it. And he goes, that was really painful for me to hear. And he'll tell me how he felt about it. And we'll work on it. And that, my friend, is like, I think something I strive for all the time. I'm like, how can I create a space with anybody in my life, any way possible, where nothing is off limits to have a discussion about, no doubt that they're having, no idea that they have, no emotion that they're feeling, no whatever is anything. It's not bad or good. It is just what they're in right now. And I can create that space to have that. And what the byproduct is of Brian and I's relationship is the success that's Strikepoint. It is the culture that we've been able to develop inside of the company, and his effect on me in that relationship. It goes into it bleeds into so many other areas, and that's what. So anyway, I think that this is a really important conversation to talk about relationships. And when I talk about marketing, I oftentimes when I even look for a marketer, sometimes I'm like, would this person be good at like attracting other people to them?
Yeah.
Can they pick up people at a bar, so to speak, Cause like if they can, then they're good at positioning themselves. Right. And like that game of attraction, you can take that same idea and you can apply it to products and customers.
For sure. Well, yes. What you just said was the amount of lessons that you just kind of imparted is something that takes decades to kind of learn. On top of that, everything you said from the way that you are able to speak with, your team members and create that kind of environment, that should apply to, like you said, every relationship, right? And the only difference that I found from all these case studies, the only difference that I found from relationships is just intensity. You have casual, you have best friend, you have business partner / marriage. Like the only difference between them is intensity. And the level of conflict between them, first we look at conflict as like this negative thing, but like you said, we've been through everything together. You actually strengthen a relationship through conflict. It could be internal, it could be external, but it's the resolving of that conflict that strengthens something, but we're taught to avoid it. So there's all these weird things that we kind of are taught, just odd ways, polar opposite of how relationships actually function. And we're not only taught those principles, but we're told those things as if it's common knowledge, like it's not good to fight. It's not good to, do these kind of things. And what you said as well, like so much of your success has to do with relationships. I would argue that in life, 90% of your happiness and success is relationships.
Yeah.
And yet, when did we ever have a class on this in high school?
Yeah, never.
So this is supposed to be
point.
the manual that was
That's
missing.
a great
from
point.
our
I love
children.
that. Yeah, my dad was one that would tell me all the time. He's like, if you show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
And be careful, because like if your friends are positive and encouraging and will give you the hey, you got something in your teeth type of people, that's great. But if you've got friends who are even in the book, actually, the No Rules Rules, the president and founder of Netflix talks about this a little bit. He said that when he was in middle school, the boys would fight, and it was just one boy in their friendship group that like had the idea, hey, we should fight each other. And like, so before school, they would like meet up, and there's like a weird little thing in his book he's talking about. And then like, just because of that one relationship, that one dynamic of that one person created, and then they ended up moving. And he was so relieved that they were moving because he hated it. And he didn't know how to stop it. None of the other boys knew how to stop it, because it's that powerful, that dynamic can change.
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, I'm this way with anytime that Jen and I are not doing well, or we had a bad day or a week or whatever like that. I am a third of the CEO that I am if everything's good. Right. Yeah. And I think everybody is, if they're really honest with themselves. Some people can really compartmentalize and it just doesn't exist, right? I'm not that guy. I can't be.
That's your hyperfixation side.
That's right. I like constantly am perseverating in the back of my mind about what's wrong and how could I fix it. And so you have to be able to, you got to be careful of it. You need to be intentional about it. You need to work on it. Ultimately, it comes down to your relationship with yourself.